Friends, welcome back to this Homeschooling Naturopath. My name is Hannah and I'm a homeschooling mama of 3 little girls who are 9, 7, and 5, and I'm also a fully qualified naturopath living and working in New Zealand. On this channel, I share content related to homeschooling, homemaking, motherhood, as well as little tidbits of naturopathic info throughout some of my content here. Today I thought it would be really fun to take you guys along and share with you what we eat for dinner in a week. This is my winter type of menu. Down here in the Southern Hemisphere, we have just stepped into winter time, and that means warm comfort food, and so that is what I am all about in this season. So if you're interested to see what a week of dinners looks like for our family, stay tuned.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard.
Alright, first up, for Monday night, I made a chicken gnocchi soup. This gnocchi I made with a sourdough recipe from Farmhouse on Boone. In fact, the whole chicken soup recipe is from Farmhouse on Boone, so I'll link that down below. This was so delicious. The gnocchi turned out so amazing, and I just served it with a side of some fresh sourdough bread that I made earlier in the day. I actually filmed most of myself making this on my most recent day in the life. I will link that down below for anyone who is interested. This meal was so amazing. Highly recommend for a cold winter night. Okay, Tuesday morning right now, I have just put in my slow cooker. I've got butternut pumpkin, crown pumpkin, carrots, leeks, onions, and then I've got a whole lot of spices, curry powder, and dried chicken stock on the top, and I am about to pour in my homemade bone broth, and then later on I'll add my organic chickpeas and organic coconut milk, and that will be our meal for tonight. Okay, this is how it turned out. I've added my chickpeas and my coconut milk and then some pak choi, and I'm serving it with some brown rice and quinoa down the bottom. Okay, dinner tonight. It is about 12:30 in the afternoon right now, and I am working on dinner tonight because instead of a slow cooker meal for today, I decided to make a lasagna so that I don't have to cook later on. I've just laid down my pasta sheets and put my mince on top. Again, mince. That's what we call ground beef here. We call it mince beef. And I've just got in my thing here some canned tomato, carrots, onion, garlic, mushrooms. What else did I put in here? Tomato paste, and then a whole lot of herbs and spices and seasoning and stuff. And then my cheese sauce, pretty simple, flour, butter, milk. And then instead of like a normal cheese, I used the sheep cheese, and my kids are so grossed out, but I think they're looking forward to eating it later. I announced to everyone it is a sheep cheese sauce. Delish. So I'm gonna put the rest of this together and I'll show you guys what it looks like later.
But that giant rainbow lollipop
Great.
is much more advertising than my two little yellow and red Jolly Ranchers. The next day I went to school. I asked the teacher if I could make a giant rainbow lollipop.
Tonight, we just got in. It's pretty late. I just heated up my lasagna while the girls were taking their showers. I don't know what's going on with my oven, but it only seemed to like crisp the outside of my lasagna. Anyway, it's nice and soft, the lasagna sheet, so that's really all I want. I don't want them to be as hard as rock. And then my husband's away tonight, and I feel like whenever my husband's away, I don't feel as pressured to make like a nice vegetable side. So I've just got frozen veggies in here with some salt and pepper and pan fried them up, and that is dinner tonight on this late cold winter evening. Alrighty, and that is dinner tonight. Lasagna and some frozen vegetables. Alright, I am prepping dinner for tonight. It is Thursday, and that means slow cooker meal. I have got some beef in here. It's just like some chuck steak. So far I've put salt, pepper, what else have I got? Thyme, oregano, garlic powder, and then I'm gonna add some dried rosemary that I have got hanging up here. I'm gonna grab a sprig of this off. In fact, I'll just do that now. If I can get it off, great. And I just made a great mess on the floor. Awesome. Okay, this is going to be like a beef stew situation. I've got a whole lot of vegetables that I'm just gonna cut up and throw in. I've got some leftover pumpkin, leeks, carrots, parsnip, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, some kumara, onion, potatoes, and then what else have I got? Bay leaf. And I'm gonna top it all off with some organic beef stock powder, and then leave this to sit all day. And I'm hoping also to make some sourdough dumplings to go with this. Okay, I forgot to film our dinner, how our beef stew turned out. This is what's left over from our beef stew. Obviously my family really enjoyed it, which is funny because normally none of us like beef stew, including myself, but this one was actually delicious. And then I made some sourdough biscuits from Farmhouse on Boone recipe. I'll put the link down below. These biscuits were delicious. And that is what's left over. Alrighty, dinner tonight. We are going to a potluck tonight, so, and I couldn't really decide what I wanted to make. I had planned today a like Asian inspired orange chicken, but then I decided that wasn't really suitable for a potluck. So instead I've gone with a chicken pot pie. This is my chicken pot pie filling. I'm just sort of letting it thicken up and let all the flavors come together. I have already made my sourdough pie crust that is chilling in the fridge. So I am just going to let this simmer away here for a little bit longer. We do need to leave fairly shortly, in like an hour, so I kind of need to hurry up. I'm gonna roll out my pie crust soon and then bake that, get that ready to go. And then for dessert, I decided I'm just gonna take along some chocolate chip cookies. I've got dark chocolate and white chocolate chips in there, and this is my recipe that I like to use for my chocolate chip cookies. I think this was my mother's recipe, and then over the years I've just kind of adapted it, and yeah, now I kind of can just throw everything in. I don't really have to follow instructions. But yes, these are what we call like Subway cookies here, because here in New Zealand the cookies are different from biscuits. A biscuit is like a hard thing, and that for me as an American, that is not a cookie. These are very soft. These are American cookies. So I'm going to bake my cookies here. I've got my sheets ready. I'm gonna get this cookie dough in the oven. I'm gonna roll out my pie crust and try and get myself dressed and ready to go to this potluck.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far as the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand together, we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find the words to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. Time to let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together.
And here is dinner tonight. Like I said, we're headed off to a potluck, so this is how my chicken pot pie turned out. I didn't really follow a recipe for the actual pie filling or anything, but I do follow a recipe for the sourdough pie crust, so I will link that down below. I don't know how I'm going to transport this hot cast iron. It's gonna be fun. And then my chocolate chip cookies, they definitely got extra crispy. My oven was quite high, but you know, they're still chewy, and I know because I've already eaten 1.5, maybe 2. But yeah, they still taste good. And there we go. We are taking this off to our potluck now. Okay, dinner tonight is chili and cornbread. I don't follow a recipe to make this chili. I honestly just throw in as many vegetables as I possibly can. There's carrot, corn, onion, garlic. I also put some courgettes in here. I think we call this zucchini in the United States. So ordinarily I don't put zucchini in, but like I said, as many vegetables as possible. I don't remember what other vegetables I put in, anything I had. I like chili because you can, because you can throw in like the whole kitchen sink and it still tastes great. So this has been on since about 8:30 this morning. It is 3:30 now in the afternoon, but we are headed out to sport for the afternoon, so we're not going to be home until late. So I'm just gonna leave this on warm now. And then I used the sourdough cornbread recipe from Farmhouse on Boone, and I just put my cornbread mixture into muffin cups, mainly because my daughters argue. When I make cornbread, they argue over who gets how many slices, and I figured if there's a whole lot of muffins, then maybe they're less likely to argue over how many they get. You know, 2 max is probably enough. So yeah, out late tonight, home later on when it's dark and really cold for some chili and cornbread. Here is the final product. I've just got some sour cream, some cheese, and green onion on top of my chili. And then our cornbread muffins look beautiful, and I've got butter and some raw honey from my friend's bees on those. And then the green onion is just green onion that we're growing in a little jar here. And that is dinner tonight. All right, dinner tonight. I had planned an orange chicken with rice for dinner tonight, but then, I don't know, a couple things happened, and on top of all of that, I was all out of oranges. So instead I am doing leftovers. I have got the leftover chili from last night. There wasn't actually very much of it left, and so I just bulked it up by adding a couple more cans of beans and some more tomatoes and making it some extra chili. And then I have got sweet potato fries. We call sweet potato kumara here. So for myself and my husband, we like kumara fries. The girls don't really like kumara, so they have potato fries instead, just oven fries. And then I've got the leftover cornbread muffins from last night. Same thing, cheese, sour cream. I've also got, I think this is the second time I've talked about it now, but the Jones Family Farm here in New Zealand are currently a sponsor of my husband's rugby team, and so we get all of this free sheep cheese. And like, for anyone watching from the States, you're probably like, these weird New Zealanders, they're over here making cheese out of sheep milk, how weird. Even so many of my friends here think it's weird. It's not something that Kiwis tend to do, so don't be misled in thinking that all Kiwis love sheep milk and sheep cheese, because even, like, I've offered packs of these to my friends and they've been grossed out and didn't want them. So yeah. But you know, I'm not gonna turn down free cheese, and I actually really enjoy this aged cheddar, so I'm gonna open this up and take that out to put on my chili cheese fries. And yeah, that's what we're doing.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.